What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of my reaction to the Collected Miscellany series, and I'm learning a lot about the characters in Genshin Impact by watching these. If you'd like to check out part 1 of my reaction or hang out with us live, a link is down in the description below. Also, if you could do me a huge favor, hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the video.
If memory serves me right, the last time an Outlander visited Tibet was centuries ago. Imagine my surprise when I discovered yet another guest during my most recent travels.
Aloy.
A hunter, an outcast of the Nora tribe. Oh my.
That's cool how they implemented a character from Horizon Forbidden West into
not dilly-dally.
Genshin.
Begin our research.
Aloy here.
Aloy.
I don't know this world, but my arrows are sharp and my bow's ready.
Based on
your
her
outfit.
observations, Aloy is highly proficient with a bow and arrow. She can limit her prey's mobility with the power of cryo, aiding
It's a different
companions in
narrator.
setting up ambushes. Rejected by her tribe since birth,
Does anybody
Aloy gains
use her in their
prowess under
party?
the watchful eye of an experienced hunter. Like any successful adventurer, hunters never rush into danger. One must tactfully hide and wait to strike. When Aloy is in the party, animals that produce foul, raw meat, or chilled meat will not be startled when approached.
Okay, food.
Aloy's normal attack deals physical damage and can combo up to 4 consecutive shots.
Okay.
For a more precise aimed shot with increased damage, hold the attack button. Aiming will also accumulate frost on the arrowhead, which will deal cryo damage once fully
Reminds me of
charged.
Amber, except cryo.
Tap Aloy's elemental skill to throw a freeze bomb in the targeted direction that explodes on impact, dealing cryo
Does it freeze
damage. When it
the
detonates,
enemy?
the bomb
It
will
does.
split into chill water bomblets that explode on contact with opponents or after a short delay, dealing cryo damage. Such an ingenious blasting design.
Okay,
When a
okay.
freeze bomb or chill water bomblet hits an opponent, the opponent's attack is reduced, and Aloy receives a coil stack, which increases her normal attack damage.
All right.
When she has 4 stacks, the coil effect is removed, and Aloy gains Rushing Ice for a set time period, which additionally increases her normal attack damage and converts her normal attack damage into cryo damage. While under the effect of Rushing Ice, Aloy cannot receive new coil stacks. Coil effects will be cleared once Aloy leaves the field for a set time. After unlocking the talent Combat Override, for a certain duration after gaining the coil effect, Aloy increases the attack of all party members. This effect cannot stack.
The hunt
Oh,
is
that's
on.
useful.
Aloy throws a power cell filled with cryo in the targeted direction, then detonates it with an arrow, dealing AoE cryo damage. An explosive infused with elemental energy. Remarkable. If utilized in the right time and place, its effectiveness will be indisputable. A good hunter can deliver a decisive blow or hold their own during a long battle. After unlocking the talent Strong Strike, when Aloy is in the Rushing Ice state conferred by Frozen Wilds, her cryo damage bonus gradually increases.
Okay.
Aloy is a skilled
I just feel like she's
hunter
not very
who moves with
useful.
great precision, like a cat in pursuit of its prey.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like she's just not very useful.
Attacks once she locks onto her target. Any foe can be conquered with the joint forces.
I don't think I've seen anybody using her in a party
in combat
at all.
Often opens up with her freeze bomb and accumulates coil stacks while her teammates launch their attacks. Once an opponent is hit by a freeze bomb or chill water bomblet, the party's attack will be increased thanks to the Combat Override talent. When Aloy reaches 4 coil stacks, she enters the Rushing Ice state.
You're just repeating what you said earlier.
As they'll pierce enemies with biting frost. Combine this with the talent Strong Strike to constantly increase Aloy's cryo damage during Rushing Ice. When her energy is full, Aloy unleashes her elemental burst that wipes out opponents in the target area.
I don't know. I just don't
I hope you found my research
feel very
as
excited for
decided.
her. You know what I
As a
mean? Like,
sorceress, I love
just be like,
making
wow,
new
she's
discoveries,
amazing.
examining all kinds of otherworldly things and
know what I
using
mean?
that knowledge to create something new. Maybe Aloy and I are more alike than it may seem. Though she plays so many roles in her homeworld, Aloy begins her journey into Vat with a clean slate. She'll get to know new places, meet new companions, and reconsider what her homeland means to her. With her survival skills, adventuring into Vat should be a breeze. If only she'd let me tinker with her bombs a little.
Are you and Klee friends? Love Klee. She's so cute. Aloy, okay, Aloy. I mean, I don't know. She just seems very like basic. You know what I mean? She just seems really basic. Nothing that like super excites me. Nothing that like I'd be like, oh my God, I gotta have you on my team or anything like that. She just seems very basic. And I don't think I've seen anyone use her in a party at all.
The Tengu of Inazuma dwell in the mountain forests, rarely appearing in human society. To live among humans as Kujou Sara does, not to mention serve as their army general.
Hi! I don't know much about her at all.
In her eyes,
I don't think I've seen much from her, or
and the eternity
like her demos or teasers. I can't remember.
Bear any similarity to each other.
I will lead us
Kujou
to
Sara. Do it! Let's go!
As general of the Tenryo Commission, Kujou Sara is a fearless warrior and a formidable leader. As one of Tengu blood, she can summon the mighty power of Tengu Jurai to rouse her troops. As she leads them into the
I like her mask. The mask that she has?
Known for their agility, and Kujou Sara knows Inazuma exceptionally well, as her role
Inazuma, we'll be getting her soon.
Frequently and rapidly. When Kujou Sara is dispatched on an expedition in Inazuma, she completes the task in a reduced time.
Like a lot of characters,
Kujou
okay.
Sara's normal attack can combo up to 5 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. Holding the attack button executes a more precise shot that deals increased damage. While
Okay,
aiming,
like a lot of bow
lightning
users.
accumulates on the arrowhead. An arrow fully charged with the storm's might will deal electro damage to enemies on impact. When Kujou Sara casts her elemental skill, she retreats rapidly with the speed of a Tengu, then summons the protection of the Crow Feather in the form of Crow Feather Cover. When
What does that do?
Kujou Sara fires a fully charged aimed shot, Crow Feather Cover is consumed, and a Crow Feather is left where the arrow strikes. After a short duration, the Crow Feather triggers Tengu Jurai Ambush, which deals electro damage to enemies in its AoE.
That kind of reminds me of Kaching's type thing.
Based on Kujou Sara's base attack.
With her skill that she uses, if you let it sit too long, it does AoE damage.
Allows Kujou Sara to rapidly evade enemy attacks, and also set the stage for a robust counterattack from an advantageous position.
Ooh, okay.
After unlocking the talent Immovable Will, after gaining Crow Feather Cover by casting her elemental skill, Kujou Sara's aimed shots reach full charge more quickly.
She's all about being like long range.
Capable general. Troop morale is all the stronger just for knowing she is in command. After unlocking the talent Decorum, when Tengu Jurai Ambush hits an enemy, all party members restore some energy, the amount of which is based on Kujou Sara's energy recharge.
So energy recharge is really super important for her.
Glory to the Shogun!
Ooh!
Kujou Sara casts down Tengu Jurai Titanbreaker.
Titanbreaker.
Dealing AoE electro damage. Afterwards, Tengu Jurai Titanbreaker spreads out into 4 consecutive bouts of Tengu Jurai Storm Cluster, dealing AoE electro damage.
Ooh, okay.
Both Titanbreaker and Storm Cluster can provide the active character within their AoE with the same attack bonus as given by Tengu Jurai Ambush.
Okay. So more of like support, like
various kinds of Tengu Jurai cannot be stacked. The effect and duration is determined by the last Tengu Jurai to take effect. Kujou Sara is a seasoned war veteran and a leader greatly admired by
she's
her
more like support long range. With her skills, she can back up.
and
So if you
empower
wanted to get
them
some
win
space,
victory after victory.
you could back up quickly with
In
her.
battle, Kujou Sara must make deft use of her elemental skill to
Yeah,
adjust
yeah.
her strategic position and use charged shots to trigger Tengu Jurai ambush, dealing damage to the enemy while providing attack bonuses to teammates, and restoring energy for the whole party.
There's old Yoimiya.
When energy is full, Kujou Sara unleashes her elemental burst to assault the enemy, and once again provide a Tengu Jurai attack bonus, paving the way for her forces to swoop in and crush the enemy's defenses. As
Okay.
a Tengu raised by humans, Kujou Sara heeds the call of humanity.
She kind of reminds me of Kaching, sort of, but just long range.
In battle. Perhaps those
With a
who
bow.
achieve such outstanding feats are too satisfied with their own brilliance to realize that their god has raised them in a prison. Sometimes I cannot decide whether the greater tragedy is to have lost all
Ooh,
one's
the
own
wings on her back. That's really
or to
cool.
have adopted the wishes of a god as well.
It's so freaking pretty, man. Like, I cannot wait to get to Inazuma. Kujou Sara. All right, okay. She's definitely like long range. Support character is what I would use her for, to like just help with like energy recharge and with the attack bonus thing and all of that. That's what, if she was on my team, that's what I would use her for. I wouldn't use her as a DPS or anything like that. But that's interesting. I don't think I would like. I don't know if she's like on the standard banner or if she comes up on a character banner or whatever, but I wouldn't be like actively trying to get her, I don't think.
In the western regions of Inazuma lies Watatsumi Island, home to a culture and natural landscape unique in the entire archipelago.
Dude, her
According
outfit is
to legend,
gorgeous.
Orobaxi was Watatsumi Island's guardian deity. Even after being slain, this god's will to protect the island flowed on in the Sangonomiya clan.
Oh yeah,
The
she's
current heir to this bloodline is
Hydro.
known as the divine priestess.
I remember her from the
Sangonomiya
demos and the
Kokomi.
teasers. Sangonomiya
All is
Kokomi, got
accounted
it.
for. Let's move out.
Let's move out, Kokomi.
Her role is to serve as the island's leader, as well as commander of its armed forces. Behind her delicate appearance lies the mind of a brilliant tactician. She is adept in harnessing the power of Hydro to aid her forces in battle. As their commander, she bravely leads her troops into the fray, sweeping away enemies like sand in the tide.
So is she a DPS?
Kokomi spent her childhood on Watatsumi Island, playing among darting fish and rolling waves.
That
She
man,
feels at
it's-
home in the water.
That's just so pretty.
When Sangonomiya Kokomi is in your party, she reduces swimming stamina consumption for your own party members, making
Okay.
exploration faster.
You don't drown as
Kokomi's
fast.
normal attack performs up to 3 consecutive strikes that take the form of swimming fish, dealing hydro damage.
Okay.
Holding the attack button consumes a set amount of stamina and deals AoE hydro damage after a short casting time. Tap Kokomi's
Alright.
elemental skill to summon a Bake Kurage created from
I'm gonna assume
water
that she makes
can
enemies
heal
wet.
her allies. This ability applies the wet status to Kokomi.
Okay.
The Bake Kurage periodically deals hydro damage to surrounding enemies, while also healing nearby active characters.
So if they're wet, you can just
The healing amount
have
scales
reactions.
with Kokomi's max HP.
Oh, she's heals. Ooh.
Covenants of the Deep.
Oh, that's big. I would put her in
Kokomi
front of you,
summons the might of
Hutao.
Watatsumi, dealing
rotation.
hydro damage to surrounding enemies, and dons her watery ceremonial garment. While enrobed in the ceremonial garment, Kokomi's normal attack, charged attack, and Bake Kurage damage are increased.
Okay. Looks like
And
doubled.
she regenerates HP for all nearby party members when her normal and charged attacks hit opponents.
Oh,
Kokomi's
okay.
damage increase and the healing amount both scale with her max HP.
Kokomi's got to be on my team. She's like an
Additionally,
OP
Kokomi's ceremonial
healer.
garment increases her resistance to interruption and allows her to walk on the water's surface.
She would be a useful
unlocking the talent
support
Tama
character.
Noya's casting,
Super crazy useful.
Casting Kokomi's elemental burst refreshes the duration of her Bake Kurage if already on the battlefield. In the pure glow of her water-woven garment, Kokomi draws power from the traditional song of the divine priestess.
Okay, what happens
After
now?
unlocking the talent Song of Pearls, when enrobed by the ceremonial garment, Kokomi's max HP base damage dealt by her normal and charged attacks is further increased by
Okay.
an amount that scales with her own healing bonus.
Man, that's big. Super crazy useful.
Kokomi plans meticulously for every battle she faces. Her thorough attention to detail ensures that her forces will emerge victorious. Sangonomiya Kokomi sacrifices crit rate to increase her healing bonus. Matched with her talent Song of Pearls, she offers stability in any conflict.
So she can sacrifice her crit rate
In the
to
chaos of
up her
battle,
healing
victory
bonus.
and defeat
That's
can hinge on a
interesting.
single moment. Versed in the art of war, Kokomi knows to stay calm and composed as she develops her winning strategy. The survival of her forces
She moves
being
so
a key part of
fluidly.
her ability to seize the
Like,
moment
it's
of
just
victory.
so
In battle,
flowy.
Kokomi uses the Bakekurage summoned by her elemental skill to recover HP for her teammates and set up perfect conditions for hydro-elemental reactions, assisting her allies on the offensive. When needed, she personally joins the fray to unleash her elemental burst, strengthening her abilities with the ceremonial garment.
Right?
Then, with the aid of her teammates and her Bakekurage, she attacks like a tidal wave, overwhelming the enemy and securing victory.
Okay. But I feel like I would just use her a lot for her
A
healing.
god defeated the enemies from the deep and raised the
Her
people
outfit,
of
she's so
Watatsumi
pretty,
from the
man.
desolate
She is
seabed.
just so pretty.
Later, another god vanquished their beloved Watatsumi Omikami, leaving the deathly Tataragami in its wake. If you were to liken human history to a great battle, the actions of gods would seem as difficult
She's
to
in
predict as the
Inazuma
weather.
too, so we'll be seeing her
A
soon.
capricious variable. Faced with
Right?
such turbulent
I'm gonna assume so with
storms, who
Kokomi.
knows how long this girl who carries a divine will can protect the people of this island.
Sangonomiya Kokomi. You're gorgeous. Wow, okay. I would use her as a healer. I would definitely love to have her on a team. She would be amazing as a healer. I feel like if you got Kokomi, I would consistently and like always have her somewhere in the rotation and on a team. Like legit. Like her, that's crazy with her healing abilities. Is the volume too low?
Strict regulations govern everything in Inazuma. Outlanders looking for a home away from home face many obstacles here. So how did a Mondstatter called Thoma earn a reputation as a local fixer and secure a job with the Yashiro Commission?
No idea.
Is this a testament to the Kamisato clan's magnanimity or to Thoma's exceptional abilities?
Thoma.
Where we
What's
headed
up,
this time?
dude?
Thoma
He seems
is
like
well connected and
fun to hang out
values
with.
his companions both in everyday life and in combat. He fights to defend the ones he holds dear. When crisis comes, Thoma's urge to defend kicks in as he dons his armor and grabs his polearm to help his friends fend off their foes with scorching flames.
Whole arm
He's
user.
someone that his team can always rely on. Thoma takes to new life skills like a fish to water. After arriving in Inazuma, he quickly
He's in
learned how to
Inazuma.
partake of the bountiful blessings found in the nation's waters. After
Ooh.
Thoma becomes your travel
Fishing!
companion, when travelers go fishing in Inazuma,
We did that the other
there
day.
is a certain chance to receive double the catch with Thoma's help.
Ooh, 2 for 1?
Thoma's normal
Thoma likes
attack
fishing?
can combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage.
Okay.
Holding the attack button, Thoma consumes a certain amount of stamina to perform a charged attack, lunging forward and dealing physical
Pretty typical.
damage to enemies in his path. Tap Thoma's elemental skill, and he vaults forward with his polearm to deliver a fling-filled flying kick,
Ooh.
dealing AoE pyro damage, while also
Ooh.
summoning a defensive blazing barrier. At the moment of casting, this skill applies pyro to Thoma. The blazing barrier absorbs damage and is especially effective against pyro damage.
Ah,
The
okay.
damage
So
absorption scales
kind of
off
a
Thoma's
shielder.
max HP.
Sort of.
Also, when a new blazing barrier is obtained, the existing barrier's damage absorption will stack, and the duration is refreshed. The blazing
Okay.
barrier's
Well,
damage
not a
absorption
complete
cannot
shielder.
exceed a certain percentage of Thoma's max HP.
I got you covered.
When Thoma
Okay.
unleashes his elemental burst, he spins his polearm, slicing at his foes with roaring flames, dealing
That's pretty
AoE
cool.
pyro damage, and producing a scorching Oyoroi. While scorching Oyoroi is in effect, the active character's normal attacks will trigger fiery collapses, dealing AoE pyro damage, and summoning a blazing barrier.
Wow,
Except
he's
for
got
the
a lot
amount
going
of
on.
damage they can absorb, the blazing barriers created in this way are identical to those created by Thoma's elemental skill.
Okay.
After unlocking the talent Flaming Assault, damage dealt by Crimson Oyoroi's fiery collapse is increased by an amount that scales with Thoma's max HP.
So HP is super important for him if you're going to build him.
Thoma's robust defense will not be torn down easily. It gets all the more resilient as the battle heats up. After unlocking the talent Imbricated Armor, when a blazing barrier is obtained or refreshed, the active character's shield strength is increased. Thoma
Okay.
is a dependable companion.
So a
He
shielder,
ardently believes in defending
a
others.
support character, I'm assuming
Even
that's
in
what a
the
lot of people
fiercest
use him for.
battles, you can trust him to have your back. During battle,
So
Thoma
kinda
uses
similar to
blazing barrier
Zhongli.
to protect other party members, allowing them to safely go on the offensive. When he casts his elemental burst, the Scorching Oyoroi provides both attack and defense. Party members under Scorching Oyoroi's protection benefit from increased odds of survival and can also trigger fiery collapses with their normal attacks. The pyro damage support that Thoma provides in this way further enhances the party's attack capabilities.
More support character, I'm gonna assume, right? Yeah. At least I feel like that's what I would use him for. Black Tassel,
As an
I'm gonna assume
outsider
is
in Inazuma,
probably his
Thoma
best
is
3-star
often viewed as
polearm.
someone who doesn't belong. To this day, many believe
What?
the slander behind his back. But through his own hard work,
Why are people talking bad
and the
about him?
Kamisato clan's tolerant attitude, Thoma has carved out a space for himself here, despite the somewhat hostile environment.
Oh, we gotta meet
Occasionally, a
Thoma.
thought crosses my
We gotta be
mind.
his friend.
If one who has turned their back on the gods ever chose to follow them once more, would any such favorable treatment be extended to them? Regrettably, no opportunity of this nature exists, nor would I have the desire to take it. Over centuries of futility, I have at least learned one thing. So long as you have determination, you can always keep going.
So pretty, man.
A
It's
defender's
just so
will
beautiful.
is a precious thing, and hatred can serve to nourish.
I want to find out more about Thoma for sure. Thoma, dude, it's nice to meet you. Okay, I mean, I would use him as a support, but I feel like if you already have Zhongli, do you really need Thoma? Do you know what I mean? Because Zhongli is kind of like an just complete OP shielder. Would you really need Thoma? Well, I guess if you want to get like reactions and stuff, right? But I love that. That was really good.
In recent years, the efforts of one young Crimson Oni have earned the loud and proud Arataki gang a certain measure of fame in Inazuma City's Hanamizaka district.
There he
Or perhaps
is.
that should be infamy. Either
Dude,
way,
he just looks
when it
awesome.
comes to their founder and leader, Arataki Itto, everyone has to agree he's one of a kind.
I would say so.
Arataki numero uno Itto here in the flesh.
It's Ryuji from Persona 5.
If you claim you've never heard of the Arataki gang, don't be surprised if Itto takes it as an intentional provocation. In protest, he'll lift his hefty claymore and show off a few of his signature charged attacks, just so
He
everyone
just looks so
knows
good.
who's the baddest Oni in town. Arataki Itto brags that with his Oni strength, even the sturdiest of trees can be felled.
I'm gonna assume that everybody uses him as a
With
DPS,
Arataki
main
Itto in the
DPS.
party, when your party members attack trees to obtain wood resources, they have a chance to get an additional log of wood.
I gotta do that soon.
Arataki Itto's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes. When his second and fourth strikes hit enemies, Itto will gain 1 or 2 stacks of superlative Superstrength, respectively, up to a
Okay.
max of 5 stacks. For a short
Increases
time
attack?
after sprinting or using his elemental skill,
I guess.
Itto can continue his normal attack chain where it left off.
Ooh, that's really cool.
When performing a charged attack, if Itto has any superlative super strength stacks, he will unleash Arataki Kesagiri slashes without consuming stamina. Each slash consumes 1 stack of superlative super strength. When the last stack is consumed, Itto delivers a powerful final slash. If no superlative super strength is available, Itto's charged attack consumes stamina to perform a single Saichi Monji slash. After unlocking the talent Arataki Ichiban, when Arataki Itto uses Arataki Kesagiri, he slashes with increased attack speed, and his resistance to interruption is also increased. These effects will be cleared once he stops performing consecutive slashes.
Okay,
Itto's elemental
that's
skill,
super useful.
and he hurls Ushi, the young Akaushi bull and auxiliary member of the Arataki gang, dealing geo damage to enemies.
Ushi.
When Ushi hits enemies, Arataki Itto gains a stack of superlative super strength. Holding
So
the
his
elemental
charged
skill
attack
button
is
allows Itto to
big.
adjust Ushi's throwing angle. Ushi inherits HP based on a percentage of Arataki Itto's max HP, and continuously taunts surrounding enemies.
That's useful
When
too,
Ushi
taunt
takes
the
damage,
taunting thing.
Arataki Itto gains a stack of superlative super strength.
Yeah, his charge
Ushi
attack
will flee
is what
when
I would
its
use
HP
all the
reaches
time.
0 or its duration ends. And Arataki Itto gains a stack of superlative super strength as it leaves. Ushi is considered a geo construct, and Arataki Itto can only deploy 1 Ushi on the field at any one time.
Oni, come
Okay.
through!
I saw
When Itto
a
unleashes
pillar
his
there.
elemental burst, he lets out his inner raging Oni King for a time, and wields his
Ooh.
Oni King's Kanabo in battle.
Ooh,
For the burst's duration, Itto's elemental and physical resistance are decreased. But his normal, charged, and plunging attacks are converted to geo damage that cannot be overridden.
oh,
Also, Itto's
Go,
normal
Itto,
attack
go!
speed is increased, and his attack is increased, based on his defense. During the Raging Oni King state, when the first or third strikes of his attack hits an enemy, Itto gains a stack of superlative super strength. With adept use of this effect, Itto can overwhelm the enemy with more Arataki Kesagiri slashes, and vaunt the might of the Arataki gang.
that's crazy. He's just crazy.
Itto's
Wild, love
Crimson Oni
it.
bloodline is not only a point of pride, it's his source of strength in battle. After unlocking the talent Bloodline of the Crimson Oni, Arataki Kesagiri damage is increased by an amount that scales with Itto's defense.
Okay,
Arataki
Man.
Itto's life is one where a new challenger
main
could appear
DPS,
at any
100%.
moment. But as a
I would use him as a main
tough guy,
DPS.
he won't go down without a fight, no matter who the opponent. He just
looks
itching
so
to show off
good.
his awesome skills and attain victory with style. During battle, Arataki Itto uses his normal attacks and elemental skill to accumulate stacks of superlative super strength, then batters the enemy with the Arataki Kesagiri charged attack. When his energy is full, Arataki Itto unleashes his elemental burst to enter the Raging Oni King state, greatly
Ooh.
enhancing his abilities.
Kick his
In
booty,
this state,
Itto.
Itto can quickly stack
I
up
want
that
Arataki
superlative
Itto.
super strength, and use
I want him for
Arataki
multiple
Kesagiri
reasons.
slashes
His
to crush
personality,
those
number
who
one.
dare challenge him. Compared to his peers,
I
Arataki Itto has lived a colorful life and is familiar with the inside of a prison cell, fully
what can I say?
qualifying him as the rightful leader of the Arataki gang.
We gotta meet
Though
this
some may
dude. I
contest
can't
his way
wait.
of handling things, the members of this young Crimson Oni's gang
I
choose to
can't
follow
wait.
him, despite the diet of grilled lavender melon. Well, it's one way of living. And ultimately, surviving on sporadic work and next
Cannot
no
wait to
work
get to Inazuma.
is still an easier task than trying to deny your destiny.
Arataki Itto, dude, I love him so much. His character, like just everything, he's just hilarious. First of all, he's Ryuji from Persona 5. Second of all, main DPS. Third of all, his personality just makes him. 1,000,000% just makes him. And that's why I pull characters for the personality. Not really what they can do in a fight, but just for their personality and the characters that I like.
In the vast and mysterious world of Teyvat, there are as many ways of life as there are people. Some heed the call of duty, others the call of freedom. Some follow their beliefs, others their talents.
I don't think I know much about Gorou.
And rise to shoulder great responsibility.
He was the one with the ears, right? Cat, like cat ears?
Since you never know what the enemy might throw at you, the key to surviving the chaos of battle is being able to adapt in the moment.
Gorou!
You never know what's around the corner.
Very true.
Gorou has endured countless battles.
Gorou, sorry.
And this experience has taught him one important lesson. However strong you may be, war is never a one-man job. As a commander, Gorou is constantly looking out for his troops, offering his protection and support, right alongside them on the front line. Gorou has always loved the great outdoors. His keen sense of smell
so
makes him an expert at tracking down resources. When Gorou is in your party, the location of resources unique to Inazuma will appear on your minimap, making it easier to gather supplies.
Super useful. Especially when you're looking for specific things for
Gorou's
Inazuma.
normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage.
Bow user.
With a charged attack, Gorou executes a more precise aimed shot that deals increased damage.
So like a lot of bow users.
Stone crystals accumulate on the arrowhead. A fully charged arrow will deal geo damage.
Okay. So like Amber and
tap Gorou's elemental skill to employ Inuzaka all-round defense, dealing AoE geo damage and erecting a general's war banner. Hold the skill to adjust the banner's position.
So is it like a crowd control?
The general's war
to
banner
keep them
provides
in?
buffs to active party members within its AoE. And the more geo characters in the party, the stronger the buffs.
Mono geo team?
If the party contains 1 geo character, the buff is Standing Firm, which increases the active character's defense. If there are 2 geo party members, the buff is Impregnable, increasing both defense and resistance to interruption.
So it's beneficial to have a mono geo team with him.
The buff is Crunch, which increases defense and resistance to interruption, while also providing a geo damage bonus.
Okay. He'd be real useful on a mono geo team.
Only deploy a single general's war banner at any given time. Also, characters can only benefit from 1 general's war banner at a time. Any active buffs will be cleared shortly after the character leaves the banner's AoE.
So you gotta stay inside of it.
Everyone on me!
On you, Gorou.
Gorou displays his general's valor, dealing AoE geo damage and creating the General's Glory field to embolden his comrades. General's Glory provides the same buffs as the General's War Banner created by Gorou's elemental skill. Various buffs are provided to the active character in the skill's AoE, based on the number of geo characters in the party.
Okay,
but this
so if you have Gorou, you need to have more than 1 geo character.
A crystal collapse occurs, dealing AoE geo damage to 1 enemy within the field, and pulling an elemental shard from the crystallize reaction to the active character's location. When Gorou uses his elemental burst, if there is a general's war banner on the field, it will be destroyed. Also, while General's Glory is in effect, using Gorou's elemental skill will not create a General's War Banner. After unlocking the talent Heedless of the Wind and Weather, all nearby party members receive a temporary defense boost after Gorou uses Juga forward.
Is that including non-geo characters too? I would assume so, right?
For the gifted to find their true calling, someone must first recognize their talent. Gorou knows this well. He is eternally grateful and staunchly committed to Watatsumi Island's defense. After unlocking the talent A Favor Repaid, Gorou's elemental skill damage, burst damage, and crystal collapse damage are all increased by an amount based on his defense.
So defense is super important for him, I guess, with his artifacts, right?
Gorou's unique skill set
kind of more of another shielder, but with a mono geo team.
Deploying the General's War Banner to establish an optimal formation before launching the offensive is the core of Gorou's prowess as a general. When he joins forces with other Geo comrades, his General's War Banner provides a diverse array of buffs, aiding the party both in offense and in defense.
So support. Wouldn't use him as DPS.
Unleash Gorou's Elemental Burst to establish the General's Glory Field, creating the perfect moment to attack and inspiring the whole party to press forward unto victory.
Okay.
Whether they seek it or not, those of exceptional ability and character tend to gain the trust of the masses. For Gorou, this trust serves both as a confirmation of his abilities and motivation to hone them continuously. But the cost of being someone that everyone relies on is the burden of responsibility that it brings. Everything from helping the troops with their daily struggles to keeping Watatsumi Island safe and secure ultimately falls on Gorou's shoulders.
I'm excited to meet Gorou though.
Time and
I want to learn more about him and
with contempt, which can make the burden unbearably heavy.
like his story.
If one day the world is turned upside down, will his instincts and determination alone provide him with enough strength to keep carrying the load he bears?
Gorou, support character, 100%. But I feel like he wouldn't be very useful if you're running multiple elements. I feel like he'd be super useful if you're doing like a mono Geo team. So if you had like Zhongli, Noelle, Gorou, Itto, like that kind of team, that's what I would use him for. I don't think I would put him on a team with multiple elements though, just because his skill doesn't really benefit you that much. You know what I mean? Mono, if you're looking to run a mono Geo team, you definitely have to have him on your team, 100%.
Although the paths through the lofty peaks of Jueyun Karst are arduous, there are always bright-eyed mortals who come seeking the adeptal path. For all their ambition, most mere mortals cannot fathom the way to the Adepti, and return from their fruitless journeys disappointed. Yet those fortunate enough to encounter some hardship may suddenly find themselves being rescued by a divine young lady. Stunned by the elegance of their silver-haired savior, they hastily begin bowing excitedly in reverence and adulation. Only to find their adeptus
hang on, let me get the drool
remain
off my face.
And leave without even a second glance.
Shenhe's gorgeous.
Command.
Let's go, Shenhe.
Though Shenhe is often mistaken for an adeptus, she is actually a mortal, albeit one who is an accomplished adepti disciple. Being naturally gifted, and having learned polearm combat and various adeptal arts from her masters,
Another polearm user.
exercising evil spirits is a mere trifle to her.
I gotta get some good polearms. I don't have anything but 3-star polearms right now.
Under her master's tutelage, Shenhe trained diligently, producing impressive results. When Shenhe is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Liyue, she will obtain increased rewards.
Hey, 20 hours? Let's go.
Shenhe's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes with her polearm, dealing physical damage.
I like polearm users.
Shenhe's charged attack
Like Hu
consumes
Tao,
a set amount
Zhang
of
Li,
stamina to lunge forward,
Zhongli.
dealing damage to enemies in her path. When she casts Spring Spirit Summoning, Shenhe grants all nearby party members the Icy Quill effect, and deals cryo
Icy
damage
Quill.
in different ways based on whether the skill is tapped or held. When tapped, Shenhe will rush forward with a Talisman Spirit, dealing cryo damage to enemies along her path. When held, Shenhe commands the Talisman Spirit to deal AoE cryo damage to surrounding enemies.
And freezing them.
When party members are affected
that would be
by
when I'd
Icy
switch
Quill,
out.
normal, charged, and plunging attacks, elemental skills, and elemental bursts that deal cryo damage to enemies. Deal
So she more of a
increased damage based on Shenhe's current attack.
Is she
The
more of
Icy
a,
Quill's
I don't want to say
effect
support, but
will
like
be
sub
cleared once its
DPS?
duration ends, or after being triggered a certain number of times. When the skill is held rather than tapped, the effect lasts longer and can be triggered more times. When a party member with the Icy Quill effect deals an instance of cryo damage to multiple enemies, the effect is triggered multiple times, according to the number of enemies hit. The number of times Icy Quill's effect is triggered is calculated separately for each party member. After unlocking
she's
the
got a lot
talent's
going for
Spirit
her.
Communion Seal, when Shenhe casts Spring Spirit Summoning, she grants additional effects to all nearby party members.
Okay.
Tapping the skill increases their elemental skill and elemental burst damage.
She's a buffer. She's
Holding the
basically
skill
she's a buffer for
increases
other
their
cryo
normal
characters,
charge
basically,
and plunging attack
or
damage.
every character, but mainly for cryos.
Cryo Incarnate!
Meh.
Shenhe unleashes the power of the Talisman Spirit, allowing it to roam free, dealing AoE cryo damage. The
Okay.
Talisman Spirit then creates a field, which decreases the
She's
cryo
beautiful,
and
but I don't know
physical
much
resistance
about
of enemies
her.
within,
Like her
and
story
also
or
deals
nothing.
periodic cryo damage to them. After unlocking the
She's
talent
crazy,
Deific
stupid pretty.
Embrace, an active character within the AoE of Divine Maiden's Deliverance will gain a cryo damage bonus. Shenhe is fated to bear the curse of calamity. As cautioned by the Adepti, she is careful
Man,
to
she's
avoid
so
harming the
freaking
innocent.
pretty.
But as for those with malicious intent, she's only too happy to put them in their place by giving them a taste of the Adepti arts.
She is
Shenhe's
so
Spring
pretty.
Spirit summoning is the core of her skill set, offering support to other cryo party members with the Icy Quill effect.
So, with her, they wanting you to run like a
Proficient use of her
mono cryo
elemental
team?
skills tap and hold effects allows
I mean, you
Shenhe
wouldn't need
shine
to.
by enhancing the party's attack capabilities.
But the more cryo party members you have,
Energy
the
is
better.
full, Shenhe unleashes her elemental burst, decreasing enemies' cryo and physical resistance, and creating the opportune moment to defeat the weakened enemies.
Yeah. Yeah, I would put her in front of
Liyue Harbor
a main
is known
cryo
as a bustling
DPS
melting pot
in a
of the
rotation.
city,
That's what I would do.
ready to welcome any and every lonely figure. But if Shenhe truly wishes to rejoin human society, there is much she
Shenhe.
will have to learn.
We haven't met her yet.
Even I myself
Anywhere
do not relish
yet.
the solitary life I lead. When others are fortunate enough to meet a companion for their journey, I sincerely wish them the very best. After all, to this day, I hold that people should be authors of their own fate. Both the crane ready to make peace with the past,
Dude, the music,
and the
man.
beast with a grudge to bear, have the freedom
I can't
to make
even.
their journey
I don't know what it is about that little piano. I don't know. It brings tears to my eyes. Shenhe, support character cryo. If I am mono cryo, would be super useful if she's gonna be buffing cryo party members. So if you have a cryo DPS, I would put her right in front of the cryo DPS in a rotation. That's what I would do. My opinion, okay? These are just my opinions. Just a freeze team. So like just somebody else in the team.
The people of Liyue have always been fond of Liyue opera.
Liyue's so pretty. I can't get over it. I'm gonna be sad when we leave Liyue. I'm not gonna lie.
Legendary feats of the Adepti. But ever since the young Yunjin became director of the Yunhan Opera Troupe, not only has she excelled in classical Adepti-style opera, but she has also brought her own original stories to the
Yunjin.
stage, recounting
Four-star
tales of the
character?
common folk. It is often said that listening to
Right?
Ms. Yun's new operas is like unwrapping a gift box. Anticipation followed by sheer delight.
Which opera shall
Yunjin,
we
her
perform
outfit
today?
is so pretty.
Fans of Liyue opera all agree.
I can't get over that.
Yunjin has boundless
Her
talent,
outfit is very
performing
pretty.
admirably both on the stage and on the battlefield.
And I love
When
how they
defending
design these
herself from
outfits
the enemy,
individually for each
Yunjin
character. It's
deftly adapts
craziness.
the techniques of stage combat, turning defense into offense and putting on a show her enemies won't forget in a hurry. In order to satisfy her appetite while maintaining a perfect figure and singing voice, Yunjin developed a certain knack for cooking. When
Ooh,
Yunjin achieves perfect cooking on dishes with adventure-related effects, she has a
Ooh.
certain chance to cook double the amount.
okay.
Yunjin's normal attack can combo up to 5 strikes, dealing physical
Polearm
damage.
user, another polearm user.
Yunjin's charged
There's a
attack
lot of polearm
consumes a
users.
set amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to
That's
enemies
pretty
in her
sick
path.
looking.
Tap her elemental
What else you
skill, and Yunjin strikes from a cloud grasping stance, dealing geo damage. When the skill is held, Yunjin adopts the opening flourish stance and charges up, forming a shield.
Okay.
The shield's
Ooh.
damage absorption scales off Yunjin's max HP.
Was
and
it only
has
just for that
increased
split second?
effectiveness against all elemental and physical damage. When the skill is released, its duration ends, or when the shield
Ah,
breaks.
it is. Okay.
Yunjin will unleash the charged energy as an attack, dealing geo damage.
So it's literally the
Based
shield
on
is
the
just like
time
a
spent
one
charging, the attack will
time kind of
unleash at
thing, or
charge level
1 second
1
time
or
kind
charge
of thing.
level 2.
Got it.
After unlocking the talent true to oneself, using opening flourish at the precise moment when Yunjin is attacked will unleash its level 2 charged form. Proficient use of these skills allows Yunjin to effectively fend off enemy attacks and strike
So with
back.
her, you have to be super precise.
Unleashing Yunjin's elemental burst deals AoE geo damage and grants the flying cloud flag formation to nearby party members. When characters with flying cloud flag formation deal normal attack damage to enemies, they will deal bonus damage based on Yunjin's current defense. The
Okay.
effects of flying cloud flag formation will be cleared.
So defense
after
is
a
super
set
huge for her.
duration, or after being triggered a set number of times. When one normal attack hits multiple enemies, the effect is triggered multiple times according to the number of enemies hit. The number of times triggered is counted independently for each member of the party. After unlocking the talent Breaking Conventions, the normal attack damage bonus granted by Flying Cloud Flag Formation is further increased. The more elemental types among your party members, the greater the increase.
Ooh.
Unlike on the stage, there is no
Run,
script
girl,
to rely
run!
on in battle. But in Yunjin's mind, unexpected enemies
She's
serve
really
as her
pretty.
best rehearsal partners, providing fresh inspiration with their unscripted attacks. In battle, Yunjin must make deft use of her elemental skill. She waits for the
Yeah,
moment
you'd have to be
and
super
counterattacks
precise with
when
her.
The enemy is vulnerable to gain the
Like
upper hand.
crazy.
When her energy is full,
Precise.
Yunjin unleashes her elemental burst, granting nearby party members the Flying Cloud Flag Formation, increasing her teammates' normal attack damage, and helping them to finish off their enemies.
Yeah, her elemental burst is her best part about her.
Compared to a lifetime, a single opera performance is short-lived. And against the vastness of history, mortal lives are like walk-on parts in a grand play.
I'm gonna be really sad when we
Drops in a
leave Lee
boundless
away.
ocean. However spellbinding the performance,
I'm gonna be sad.
the curtain call will come and the audience will leave. Perhaps this is why Yunjin incorporates the details of ordinary lives into her scripts.
Dude, the music in
Portraying
this is
trials and
crazy.
tribulations of the common folk,
Hey, Jill! What's up, bro?
alongside grand tales of gods and adepti, preserving their stories in operatic form to honor the human experience for generations to come. I happen to know a story about the heavenly principles and mortals, about cataclysm and peace.
It's just gonna make me so
curse,
sad.
and
I'm getting
devastation.
sad. Leaving
If I
Lee
were to
away.
share this story
Like,
with
legit.
Yunjin, I do wonder how her theatrical interpretation would turn out.
Yunjin, I feel that, I mean, she's a 4-star character, and I feel like if you are looking for a buff character as a new player, like if you're brand new to Genshin Impact and you pull Yunjin, I feel like for a brand new player, super useful. You have to be really precise on her shield though.
Miko is a divine kitsune. As the
Now see, she really reminds me of Fu Xuan from Star Rail.
Presence commands awe and respect. But as chief editor of the Yae Publishing House, and a patron and participant of festivities, her crafty tone keeps you guessing. This leaves many uncertain of how to deal with the majestic but mystifying Miko.
I guess we'll be meeting her soon in Inazuma when we get
If
there.
you want to make Lady Guji smile, you needn't deliver an eloquent speech. You simply need to say these 4 magic words. Something amusing just happened.
Something
Whatever would you do
amusing just
without me?
happened.
In Yae Miko's eyes,
What did she just
shooing
say?
away pesky intruders is a tedious task that does not require her personal involvement. She can leave this to the Kitsune spirits. Only when her curiosity is aroused will Yae Miko show her fabled fox form and summon lightning
Ooh.
plummeting from above. It's said that those lucky enough to witness this spectacle never live to tell of the tale.
Oh,
With
she's
her
kind of
age
like a
experience. Yae Miko is one of the most learned in the land.
flirty
Even
but
if the
dangerous.
spur of the moment stories she enjoys telling make this hard to believe. When Miko crafts character talent materials, there is a chance to obtain one extra random item of the same region.
That's
This item has the same
useful.
rarity as the material consumed.
Ooh.
Miko's normal attack performs up to 3 consecutive attacks, dealing electro damage. Her charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina and deals AoE electro damage after a short casting time.
That's cool.
Tap her elemental skill, and Miko moves swiftly, leaving behind a Seisho Sakura. While on the field, it periodically strikes one nearby enemy with lightning, dealing electro damage. This skill has 3 charges, and a maximum of 3 Seisho Sakura can exist at one time.
What?
If another Seisho Sakura is nearby, its level is increased, meaning its lightning strikes deal more damage.
You like legit wouldn't even have to do nothing except
at level 1,
move around.
The maximum level is 3. By strategically spacing the Seisho Sakura, Miko can quickly create an ideal formation to increase their damage level and put her enemy in a difficult position. When the Guji of the shrine recites a blessing, thunder roars in response.
That skill's
After
crazy.
unlocking the talent Enlightened Blessing, Seisho Sakura damage is increased based on Miko's elemental mastery.
Dude, okay.
I'm always
Miko.
watching.
Whoa, what was that?
When Miko unleashes her elemental burst, she summons a lightning strike, dealing AoE electro damage. When cast, Miko unseals nearby Seisho Sakura, destroying their outer forms and transforming them into Tenko Thunderbolts, dealing further AoE electro damage. For each Seisho Sakura destroyed in this way, 1 Tenko Thunderbolt strikes down. After unlocking the talent, the Shrine's Sacred Shade, when Miko casts her elemental burst, each Seisho Sakura destroyed resets the cooldown for 1 charge of her elemental skill. Don't let Miko's graceful outward appearance fool you into thinking
Is there a
she is gracious
cooldown in
temper.
between each Sakura
Well,
though,
that
or
would
can
be a
you just place them
fatal
right down?
During battle, Miko does not think twice before unleashing Seisho Sakura. She ensnares the enemy in a perilous position, dealing damage and creating opportunities for teammates to attack. When energy is full, Miko unleashes her elemental burst, unsealing nearby Seisho Sakura and summoning Tenko Thunderbolts to make sure these tiresome foes disappear for good.
So I'm gonna assume that like energy
Storytelling
recharge
skill, the writers of the
in
publishing house are
her
my superior.
artifacts is
When I get
super
talking,
important.
I tend to speak of true historical events. But under Chief Editor Yaya's guidance, works of sheer fantasy.
Dude, I like that one.
Accounting for the
That
vast
was
majority of
that's
popular light novels.
she's really different.
Maybe in
from
another
everyone
few
else.
centuries, archaeologists will find books filled with pure fiction, mistake them for rare historical records, and draw all kinds of conclusions from them. Perhaps by then, the truth of the past will be consumed as entertaining fiction.
I can't wait to meet
Its only
Miko
purpose
and really learn more
to meet
about her
people's need
and her
for novelty,
personality.
save for
Because I
the
can't
thrill of
like
the
really put a
All that
finger
will
on
remain
it.
Is the despairing sighs of the
She
long
seems
forgotten.
flirty but dangerous. Miko, wow, she's way different than everybody else. Yes, her skill that's crazy. Her skill, you don't even have to do anything. Like you wouldn't even have to do anything. You could literally just plop them down and stand back and be like, okay, you're dead.
Surrounding the epicenter of power is a tangled web of powerful factions, where vested interests and hidden agendas lurk beneath the surface. For someone to not only rise to the top in this environment, but also maintain stability, they must be exceptionally shrewd and highly skilled. Anyone who hopes to meet the man at the top would be wise to first make sure that they know exactly whose side they're on.
He just looks amazing. Kamisato Yaka. He just looks like
Ayato
like so
is the
confident
Yashiro
and
Commissioner.
chill.
As heir to his clan, he has trained for this role all his life, including in the martial arts. His
Not
fighting style channels
intimidating.
The power of Hydro through the forms of Kamisato art. A strong
Do you know what I
current
mean?
hides beneath the tranquil surface, ready to
Like calm,
overwhelm his
confident.
foes like a flash flood. To the clan leader whose every meal is prepared for him by his staff, cooking is not a necessity, but a pastime. When Kamisato Ayato cooks a perfect dish, he has a chance to obtain a suspicious dish of the same kind.
Ooh.
Kamisato Ayato's normal attack can combo up to 5 slashes, dealing physical damage. His charged attack consumes a set amount of stamina to charge forward and perform the EI technique, dealing physical damage.
Yeah. Oh.
Tap his elemental skill to
That's
shift
nifty.
positions and enter the Takemiguri Kanka state.
Yo!
After this shift, a watery illusion forms in Ayato's original position. After forming, the watery illusion will explode if enemies are near or when its duration ends, dealing AoE hydro damage. While in the Takemiguri Kanka state, Ayato unleashes rapid Shunsuiken attacks, converting his normal attack damage into AoE
God,
hydro
he's
damage
lightning
that cannot
fast.
be overridden. After a Shinsuiken attack hits an enemy, Ayato receives the Namisen effect, which increases Shinsuiken attack damage based on his current max HP. The maximum number of Namisen stacks starts at 4. Stacks can be gained via Shinsuiken attacks once per set time period, and disappear when the Takemiguri Kanka state ends. Also, while in the Takemiguri Kanka state, Ayato's resistance to interruption is increased, but he cannot perform charged or plunging attacks. After unlocking the talent,
There's a
Minio
downside.
Matorishi Kiyotaki, Ayato
Can do charged
receives
attacks.
2 Namisen stacks immediately after casting his elemental skill. And when the watery illusion explodes, Ayato gains a Namisen effect equivalent to the maximum number of stacks.
That's crazy stupid fast.
When Ayato
That's crazy
unleashes his
stupid
elemental
fast.
burst, he unveils a garden of purity that silences the cacophony within. While this space exists, bloom water blades rain down continuously, attacking enemies within range and dealing hydro damage. The normal
So would he
attack
be more
damage
of-
of characters within this space is also increased.
So, buff, an attack buff character. Support, right?
But it regains its composure the moment after they pass.
So an attack support?
After unlocking the talent Michiyuku Hagetsu, when Ayato is not on the field, if his elemental energy is below a certain threshold, he continuously regains energy.
Ooh.
Kamisato Ayato keeps a low profile and rarely shows his true talents, but when those lured into a false sense of security seek to move against him, he is only too happy to deal with them himself. The Shinsuiken is
DPS?
Ayato's main means of attack. During
Hold on.
battle, Ayato coordinates with his teammates to produce hydro-based elemental reactions and take down groups of enemies with a barrage of Shinsuiken strikes to gain the upper hand. When energy is full,
okay, I get it.
Ayato
Yeah,
unleashes
DPS,
his elemental
DPS.
burst, unveiling a garden of purity, which increases party members' normal attack damage and sets the stage for
But then
further
they got
elemental
that.
reactions to flush out any final remnants.
He's got a
Many
lot.
years
You could do a
ago,
lot of
the
different things
Yashiro
with
Commission
him.
faced
I
upheaval for
feel.
their transgressions. The Kamisato clan survives today because they found favor in the eyes
I want
of
to
a
learn
god,
more about him.
but they bear an eternal obligation to be guardians of the divine. If you ask the head of the Kamisato clan what he truly holds sacred, I dare say
I want to learn more
the
about
will of the
him.
gods would not be his answer.
1,000,000%.
And so, though Kamisato Ayato appears to handle his affairs with consummate ease, when all is said and done, he is simply an ordinary soul caught between the divine and the mundane. If there comes a day when the instruction of the gods conflicts with that which he has sworn to protect,
Definitely
how
want
then will he preserve
He's
his
5-star,
delicately
right?
maintained stability?
Definitely want to pull for him. Definitely would love to. Wow, that was intense, dude. He moves like so freaking fast. Bro, he is so fast. That's crazy. I loved that one.
In the business of national security, the public eye poses many restrictions. While trouble brews in the shadows, it helps to bring in special talent. Someone who can move freely between different circles, covering their tracks as they go. But be warned,
Yelan.
this kind of
What's your name? What's your
collaboration can
sign?
cost you, so make sure it's worth the price.
Who's our
Dude.
target this time?
Oh my
Yelan is a
god.
master of the bow, whose hydrovision takes her abilities to new heights. Stronger and more daring than
She's
most,
so pretty.
she thrives in dangerous situations, leading her enemies slowly but surely into her trap.
Please tell me we get to meet her later on.
For
Please tell me
Yelan,
we get to meet
staying
her.
alert to new intel of all kinds is second nature. Wherever she goes, whatever she does, she always returns with a wealth of resources. When Yelan is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Liyue, she will obtain increased rewards.
Money,
Yelan's
doll
normal
hairs.
attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots,
Oof.
dealing physical damage.
I already
Holding
know
the
I want
attack
to put for
button
Yelan.
executes a more precise shot that deals increased damage. While aiming, flowing water accumulates on the arrowhead. A fully charged arrow deals hydro damage on hit. After leaving combat for a short time, Yelan gains the breakthrough effect, which
What does that
greatly
mean?
decreases the charge time of her next aimed shot,
Okay.
and fires a breakthrough barb at full charge. The breakthrough barb deals AoE hydro damage that scales based on Yelan's max HP.
Charge attack is super
When
useful.
she casts her elemental skill, Yelan moves rapidly using her lifeline, latching onto and marking enemies as she goes. Tapping and holding the skill produce different effects. When tapped, Yelan rapidly dashes forward a short distance. While held, Yelan remains in a rapid movement state and gains increased resistance to interruption while in that state. During this time, Yelan can control the direction she sprints in and can cast the skill again to exit the rapid movement state. Using this skill, she can quickly approach groups of enemies while easily avoiding some of their attacks. Furthermore, it helps her explore the surrounding terrain more rapidly. When rapid movement ends, Lifeline will explode and deal hydro damage to marked enemies based on Yelan's
That's
max
really
HP.
useful.
Also, when Lifeline explodes,
Yo.
the number of enemies marked affects her chance to gain the breakthrough effect. The more enemies marked, the higher the chance to gain the effect.
All right.
Game's up. Fun's over.
When Yelan unleashes her elemental burst, she deals AoE hydro damage to nearby enemies and creates an exquisite throw to assist in battle. Exquisite throw follows the active character, and when they perform a normal attack, or Yelan's lifeline explodes and hits an enemy, Exquisite throw will join in the attack, dealing hydro damage based on Yelan's max HP. After unlocking
So
the
HP
talent
is super
Adapt
important for her.
the active character's damage dealt gradually increases while Exquisite Throw is present.
Oh!
If the Elemental Burst is cast again while this effect is active, the effect will be cleared. Before the fun of guessing the enemy's next move begins, Yelan inspects her hand and tallies up her strengths. After unlocking the talent Turn Control, Yelan's max HP is increased. Based on the number of elemental types
Holy
in the party.
moly!
The more elemental types, the greater the increase. Wherever there is intrigue, Yelan is in the background.
Dude, these look so amazing.
Quietly weaving her web. By the time her prey notices, it's already too late. In battle, Yelan likes to open with her
That right
breakthrough
there
bar.
is crazy, stupid,
Before
useful.
using her elemental skill to approach nearby enemies, she ensnares
skill
her
is
targets with lifeline, then lets it
amazing.
explode and deal damage. After the explosion, if she has the breakthrough effect, Yelan may follow up with another breakthrough bomb to inflict
She just keeps
further
everybody down.
When energy is full, Yelan unleashes her elemental burst to create an exquisite throw, providing hydro damage and a damage boost. So the team can round up the remaining foes. Fate is
Dude.
a cruel and perilous thing. It bodes only ill, lurking in dark places like the chasm. To me,
She's
that place
gorgeous.
is the epitome of human misfortune. People died there, far from their homes. People with hopes and dreams, dutiful to the bitter end. Different motivations resulted in the same tragic conclusion. People ought to fear disaster, unless they can learn to draw strength from their fear.
Mommy?
Perhaps Yelan is just such a unique case. Undeterred by fate's cruel design, there is no path she will not go down in the pursuit of secrets. But what if, one day, she descends into a place from which there is no escape?
What?
Curious, By which of her many sides would she see herself be remembered?
She's just very mysterious, and I love that about her. I want to learn more about her. Yelan, 1,000,000% would love to have you on my team. Next time she comes up on a banner, we're gonna go for her. I mean, that skill is just crazy.
You may be forgiven for wondering how an organization as chaotic as the Arataki gang has managed to survive.
It's
as
Itto
long as it
again.
has,
What's up, bro?
despite the near-daily conflict they stir up and frequent stints in jail. Somehow, the fallout of their antics is successfully contained time and again. Luckily for them, the Arataki gang does have one member who actually has their head screwed on.
Shinobu!
Don't tell me they did it again.
Kuki Shinobu doesn't go looking for trouble.
Let me guess, she's
but
trying to
it
keep
always
Itto
finds its way to
in
her
line.
via the company she keeps. This gives her a wealth of experience in cleaning up after others.
Her hair,
No matter
dude.
how tricky things get, Shinobu is always able to help her friends out of a tight spot with the aid of her electrovision, deftly diffusing the situation every time. If there were qualifications for expedition expertise, Kuki Shinobu would likely be certified at the highest level. When Kuki Shinobu is dispatched on a 20-hour expedition in Inazuma, she will obtain increased rewards.
Nice.
Kuki Shinobu's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. Her charged attack consumes a certain amount of stamina to perform 2 swift strikes to the front, dealing physical damage.
Okay.
When she casts her elemental skill, Shinobu consumes some HP to create a ring of sanctification, dealing electro damage to surrounding enemies.
Oh,
The ring of
HP is super important for
sanctification
her.
follows the active character and periodically deals electro damage to nearby enemies, while also healing active characters nearby. The healing amount
Okay.
scales with Shinobu's max HP.
HP is big.
HP consumed by her elemental
More of like
skill
an elemental
will
support
not
character, right?
decrease her HP lower than a certain level. After unlocking the talent Breaking
And she
Free,
heals.
when Kuki Shinobu's HP is low, she will gain an increased healing bonus.
So you want to
Though
keep
the
her on life
Arataki
support
gang
too.
Causes her no end of trouble. It's the one place Kuki Shinobu has the freedom to be herself. After unlocking the talent Heart's Repose, the healing effect and damage dealt by Sanctifying Ring will increase, based on Shinobu's elemental mastery.
I'll settle this.
Yeah.
When
Support
Shinobu
character.
unleashes her elemental burst, she stabs her blade into the ground, creating a field that excoriates evil. This field deals
That's pretty
continuous
cool.
electro damage, based on Shinobu's max HP. When she casts her elemental burst, if Shinobu's HP is low, the field will last longer.
Yeah, you want to keep her on life support.
Kuki Shinobu is uncertain of the
Okay.
criteria for obtaining a vision.
Kind of like
That
Hu Tao,
doesn't
sort
stop her
of.
from taking full advantage of its power. In combat, Shinobu supports her teammates by using her elemental skill to create a ring of sanctification. Besides healing nearby active characters,
Except she heals.
the ring also creates ideal conditions for elemental reactions, allowing her
Ooh.
teammates to easily gain the upper hand. When energy is full, Shinobu unleashes her elemental burst, creating a cleansing field that deals continuous electro damage to enemies in its AoE, paving the way to a decisive victory. To most, the world provides boundless possibilities,
Her healing.
and people are free to make their own choices as long as they are ready to accept the consequences.
I wouldn't mind having her on a team.
Fortunately, Kuki Shinobu
sure.
is a talented individual, and the troubles stirred up by the Arataki gang are a price worth paying for her freedom.
And her
To
outfit,
thank
like the
Kujou Sara
tattoos
for an
and
introduction, Shinobu once
just-
treated her to drinks at Uyu Restaurant. I doubt that the Tenryou Commission General could have ever imagined a throwaway comment she made over drinks with her friend would end up ensuring the longevity of the Arataki gang, cementing their place as a thorn in her side for years to come.
Dude, I'm loving how they kind of like foreshadow things, and it's making me want to like learn what happened. Shinobu, she would be really useful in like as a definitely a healer. I wouldn't mind having her on a team. I'm not gonna lie. I think she would be great. She would be really good.
Technically speaking, the Tenryou Commission has no formal position called detective. However, formal or not, Doshin Shikanoin is indisputably the Commission's top sleuth. And every co-worker and criminal he has ever met has come to refer to him as that famous detective.
Detective?
Even the most rigid of rules will bend to accommodate extraordinary talent. And so the young prodigy detective's reputation only continues to grow.
I'm on the case.
Okay,
Heizou prefers
Animo.
to avoid physical combat and prides himself on winning battles with his intellect. However, even he admits that sometimes the martial arts skills that his father made him learn are vital when defending himself in the pursuit of justice.
So does he doesn't use a weapon
Although
at all?
cracking cases is a detective's core duty.
Well, I mean, obviously you
Heizou
gotta
believes
equip him with a
his
weapon,
true
but
calling lies in preventing would-be criminals from ever committing crimes in the first place.
he just punches people.
When Shikanoin Heizou is in the party, he reduces sprinting stamina consumption for your own party members, making exploration faster. Heizou's
Useful.
normal attack performs up to 5 strikes that deal animo damage.
Yeah, he's just a
Charged
butt
attack
kicker.
consumes a set amount of stamina to perform
Wheel
a sweeping
kick.
kick, dealing animo damage. Tap Heizou's elemental skill to wield the swift winds and launch a powerful strike that deals animo damage.
So is he kind of
Holding
like
the skill
just...
charges energy and allows Heizou to obtain up to 4 stacks of the declension effect, which increases the power of the next elemental skill. When the skill button is released or the skill finishes charging, Heizou strikes forward, dealing animo
Ooh.
damage. When Heizou possesses 4 declension stacks,
But it's...
the conviction effect is produced, further increasing the damage and AoE of the next elemental skill.
Okay.
After unlocking the talent's paradoxical practice, Shikanoin Heizou will gain 1 declension stack when he triggers a swirl reaction on the field. This effect can only be gained once per short period. Strategic use of this effect allows Heizou to quickly gain declension stacks and increase the power of the elemental skill. Sharp
Wow.
investigative instincts enable Heizou to quickly pinpoint the motive and method behind a crime. His sheer brilliance means that many aspire to one day partner with him on a case. When the talent penetrative reasoning is unlocked, after Heizou's elemental skill hits an opponent, the elemental mastery of all other party members is increased for a limited time.
That's nice.
When Heizou unleashes his elemental burst, he leaps into the air and kicks the Fudo-style vacuum
What?
slugger towards the enemy. The vacuum slugger explodes on hit, creating a wind tunnel that pulls in nearby objects and opponents and deals AoE animo damage. When
So
vacuum
he's
slugger
kind of a
hits
crowd
enemies
control
affected by
too?
Hydro, Pyro, Cryo, or Electro, it afflicts them with Windbuster Iris. Moments later, Windbuster Iris explodes and dissipates, dealing AoE damage of the corresponding elemental type.
Whoa.
Vacuum Slugger can afflict a maximum of 4 enemies with the Windbuster Iris.
He's a
single
4-star,
enemy
right?
cannot be affected by irises of different elemental types at the same time. Though
That's pretty
Shikanoin
crazy for a
Heizou
4-star.
always chooses brains over brawn,
In my opinion.
he is nimble and well practiced in the martial arts of his clan. This, plus his keen sense of battle judgment, makes him more competent at close quarters combat than most imagine. In battle, the elemental skill is Heizou's main means of attack. A smart offensive allows him to rack up declension stacks and unleash a more powerful elemental skill.
Yeah, that skill's pretty huge.
When energy is full, Heizou unleashes
And then the crowd
his
control.
elemental burst and uses
That right
the
there?
vacuum slugger to deal animo damage. By effectively coordinating with his teammates, Heizou can afflict enemies with the Windbuster Iris, lowering their defenses while assisting his allies.
Whoa. He's pretty tough.
For most detectives, finding the truth is the end goal of every case. Once the file is closed and the criminal brought
And
to
I'm
justice,
guessing we're probably gonna learn more about him
satisfied
soon,
sleuth sits
too.
back and congratulates themselves on a job
Well,
well done.
I'm gonna assume we have to like solve a mystery with him when we get into like his
But even
story
a
or
job
whatever.
well done is not enough for Heizou. Finding the truth is good, but finding a way to dissuade criminals in the first place is even better. If it were
Okay.
anyone else, I would laugh off their delusions of grandeur. Surely no single detective could hope to reduce crime through the sheer weight of their reputation.
Dude, for a 4-star, he's legit.
In the case of Shikanoin Heizou, I find myself entertaining a faint and uncharacteristic sense of optimism. With that said, It is a pity that a detective of his caliber was unavailable to take on the case of the deicide of the God of Contracts.
Ooh, Heizou. All right, dude, for 4-star, that's legit. Like, seriously, that's tough, man. He's got a lot going for him too. His skill and his elemental, or his burst would be really super crazy useful.
Compared to ferocious beasts, it's hard to imagine placid plants ever posing a serious threat to humans. But deep within the sprawling forest where the vegetation grows unchecked, there is no telling.
The rainforest. Can't wait to get there too.
So
Sumeru,
never
right?
underestimate the rainforest, for life
Yeah.
is a formidable force. If you're hoping to pass through the Avidia forest without incident, you would be wise to heed the stern warnings of the Forest Watcher.
Tighnari! I lost at 50-50 and got you on the Nouvelette better, and then
Tighnari
forward pity
believes
later
that the best
got
thing to do with knowledge is
Nouvelette.
to utilize it effectively in everyday life. Applying his botanical expertise in the use of his dendrovision has helped him to both advance his research and protect the
See, I don't know
rainforest
anything
ecosystem.
about Tighnari.
To be
Know
an
nothing
effective
about
forest
Tighnari.
watcher requires a keen, observant pair of eyes. When Tighnari
Eyes
is in
are
your
itching.
party, the location of resources unique to Sumeru will appear on your minimap, making it easier to
Alright.
gather supplies.
Useful.
Tighnari's normal attack can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. With a charged attack, Tighnari executes a more precise, aimed shot that deals increased damage. The shot has
I feel like
different
all bow
effects
users
depending
have
on how
that.
long the charging lasts.
But some of them also have an
At charge
AoE
level
with
1,
that too.
Tighnari fires a dendro-infused arrow that deals dendro damage.
Right.
At charge level 2, Tighnari fires a wreath arrow that deals dendro damage. After hitting
Ooh.
its target, several cluster bloom arrows are generated that will auto-target nearby enemies and deal further dendro damage. When
That's
the talent
different.
Keen Sight is unlocked, after Tighnari fires a wreath arrow, his elemental mastery will be increased for a limited time.
That's really
Tighnari's
different.
elemental skill throws a Vijnana Stormheart ahead of him that deals AoE dendro damage, and creates a Vijnana Khanda field, which summons strange illusions to taunt enemies and draw their fire. Also, Tighnari gains the Vijnana Suffusion effect that decreases the charging time of the next wreath arrow. This effect will dissipate once the duration ends, or after Tighnari has fired a certain number of wreath arrows.
I'll uproot you.
Ooh.
When Tighnari unleashes his elemental burst, he harnesses the power of germination and fires 6 Tanglevine tendrils that automatically target enemies and deal dendro damage.
It's like
After the
heat-seeking
Tanglevine
missiles.
tendrils hit their target, a second wave of tendrils is produced that also auto-target enemies and deal dendro damage.
So he
After studying the properties of a diverse range of plants,
would be like a
Tighnari gained
DPS,
a wealth of new insight into dendro.
but a lot of reactions, right?
After unlocking the talent Scholarly Blade, for every point of elemental mastery Tighnari possesses, his charged attack and elemental burst damage are increased. Damage
Elemental
can only
mastery.
be increased up to a certain limit. Poorly prepared hikers
A
and
bow
fierce
user
monsters
DPS?
are constant troubles in the
That's
rainforest.
kind of rare,
An
isn't
earnest,
it?
informative lecture is sufficient to deal with the former. But in the case of the latter, Tighnari shows no mercy. During battle, Tighnari first uses his elemental skill to create a Vijnana Khanda field to taunt enemies and obtain the Vijnana Suffusion effect. From a safe vantage point, he can now quickly charge and fire wreath arrows to deal dendro damage to enemies.
Ooh.
When energy is full, Tighnari unleashes his elemental burst, firing Tanglevine tendrils that pursue enemies. 2 waves of Tanglevines will home in on enemies to root out the problem at the source.
Okay. What?
Even as I
Tighnari,
speak, strange
DPS,
events that I cannot comprehend
bow
are
user.
unfolding in Sumeru City.
A lot of reactions
Fortunately
with that
for
though, yeah?
Tighnari, though he lacks knowledge of the full situation, his intuition has saved him from becoming entangled.
I love his character
In
design.
Tighnari's opinion,
I really
however
do.
profound and esoteric
Just that, like the
knowledge may be,
green
it does not equal virtue.
and
Elitism
the
and
colors.
deceit
Oh,
lead to
dude,
no good.
so good.
Ironically, The academia sages who manage knowledge neither comprehend the true meaning of knowledge, nor understand the yearnings of the human heart. Though Tighnari has rejected them several times, still their pleas come time after time to his door. Let's see just where exactly the path of stubbornness and ignorance will lead them in the future.
Tighnari! All right, that's interesting. A bow user DPS, that would be really cool to use. I bet he's really fun to play with. A lot of reactions with him too.
Some time ago, the Forest Rangers of Gandharvaville welcomed a new trainee to their ranks. She's a warm-hearted girl with a radiant smile, always ready to help a forest trekker in need. Like the hardiest plants in the forest, her will to live runs deep, seemingly unbreakable despite the trauma.
The eyes, dude. Purple's my favorite color. I love that.
Trainee Forest Ranger Kale, reporting.
Kale, nice to meet you.
Mondstadt gave Kale
Don't know
an
much about
opportunity
you.
to turn things around, and now Sumeru provides her with a place to grow. Here, she will support those around her with her newly acquired power of Dendro.
So she's a support
Good
character.
Things come to those who are willing to work toward their dreams. When Kale is in the party, she reduces gliding stamina consumption for your own party members, making exploration faster. Kale's
That's really
normal
useful,
attack
seriously.
Can combo up to 4 consecutive shots, dealing physical damage. With a charged attack, Kale executes a more precise aimed shot that deals increased damage. While aiming, Dendro energy accumulates on the arrowhead. A fully charged arrow will deal Dendro damage.
Okay.
Kale's elemental skill throws a floral ring that deals 1 bout of Dendro damage to each target it hits.
What?
The floral ring will return after a set time,
It's like a
dealing further
boomerang.
Dendro damage on the way back. After unlocking
What?
the talent Floral Sidewinder, if one of your own party members triggers a Burning, Quicken, Aggravate, Spread, Bloom, Hyperbloom, or Burgeon reaction before the floral ring returns, the floral ring will grant the character the Sprout effect on its return. The Sprout effect
Yo.
deals Dendro damage to nearby enemies for a set time.
So
based
throw
on
it, swap
Kale's
in, get a
attack.
reaction, and then, dude.
If the Sprout effect is triggered again before it expires, the initial effect will be removed.
Okay.
Kale's
Are those
elemental
mushrooms?
burst brings her trusty assistant, Cullen Anba, into the battle, causing an explosion that deals AoE Dendro damage and creates a Cullen Anba zone. Cullen Anba bounds around within the zone, dealing further AoE Dendro damage.
Well, that's cool.
Plant life thrives
That's
in the
really
Sumeru
cool.
forests, like the hope rejuvenated in Kale's life. After unlocking the talent The Languid Wood, when a character in the
So
Cullen
her
Anba
skill
zone triggers
is
a burning,
like,
quicken,
in my
aggravate,
opinion,
spread,
this, like I said, these are just my opinions, would be probably the most useful thing about her. If you throw her, get a reaction,
duration may only be extended in this way by
and then the
up to a minute.
extra damage.
The time that Kale once spent on the run taught her a wealth of survival and combat skills. Though still a trainee forest ranger, her Dendro vision gives her the ability to hold her own in many challenging situations. In battle,
The music.
Kale focuses on casting her elemental skill, aiming to hit as many enemies as possible and generate the Sprout effect within the floral ring. This enables
like her skill's
teammates to deal
the best
greater
thing about
damage
her.
through more elemental reactions. When her energy is full, Kale summons Cullen Anba, whose Cullen Anba zone deals continuous
Or at least that's
Dendro
what a
damage
lot
to the
of-
enemy, and creates a
I feel
fertile
like that's
ground for
what a
elemental
lot of people
reactions.
probably use her
By
for,
coordinating with
full
her teammates,
reactions.
The zone can be extended and exploited long enough
Definitely
to
not
bring
a-
out every last one.
You know, main DPS or anything like that. And she's 4-star because she's free in Spiral Abyss.
Growth means different things to different people. Some simply wish to grow up in peace, while others pursue loftier goals.
I can't wait to get to this
As
area.
for Kale, she
But we
believes
got a long way
that
to go
overcoming
first.
her past is a necessary step on the long journey to the future she pursues. This is wise, for
I
to
wanna live in a
overcome is
treehouse.
to move forward, not to wallow endlessly in the past.
Like a big old giant treehouse.
Pity that my
That'd be
former
awesome.
travel companion, for all their years of rumination, lacks Kale's clarity on this. Or perhaps Some situations are simply too complex to be resolved by good intentions and honest
Pretty. Kale, nice to meet you. Okay, free force. She's 4-star. You can get her in Spiral Abyss, and I feel like she's just really used for reactions, more for like Dendro reaction stuff. That was good. I like that one. That was really good though.
I first met Dory long before she was the infinitely resourceful merchant that you know today, but I could already see that her adorable face was simply brimming.
I remember watching her character teaser, and I was like, or was it the demo? And I was like, whoa.
Would I be if I didn't offer her just a little assistance?
You're a bit much.
Say my instincts were right on the Mora. That little investment turned out to be one of the best I've ever made.
Come on, let's go. There's a fortune to be made.
Dory. Hi, nice to meet you.
Dory wouldn't dream of turning away a perfectly good business deal just because the customer demands the impossible. No. So long as the price is right on your tall order, Lord Sangonomiya Bay.
I wonder why they switched commentators for this one.
Worries are zapped away with the aid of her Electrovision. Any deals that pass through Dory's hands seem to magically yield extra returns. When Dory crafts character and enhancement materials, she has a chance to recover some of the materials used, which can be set aside for emergencies.
Okay, that's useful for her.
Causes her genie to combo up to 3 strikes that deal physical damage to enemies.
What are you sitting on?
Hold the attack button and the genie drains stamina over time to perform a continuous spinning attack on nearby enemies, dealing physical damage. When the spinning stops, the genie unleashes one final extra strong strike that launches smaller enemies within range.
What is this?
Skill fires troubleshooter shots from her spirit warding lamp, dealing electro damage to enemies. To sweeten the deal, when troubleshooter shots hit their target, 2 after-sales service rounds are produced that automatically track down their nearby enemies and deal extra electro damage just for good measure. After unlocking the talent Compound Interest, when the troubleshooter shots or after-sales service rounds from Dory's elemental skill hit enemies, Dory will restore elemental energy to herself based on her energy recharge rate. Each elemental skill valid for 1 energy recharge only. Energy can be redeemed only up to a certain limit. Terms and conditions apply.
Magic lamp.
When Dory
I'm confused a little bit about like her personality.
Customers with a plethora of services. The genie connects to a nearby character, causing them to become affected by electro. The connected character will continuously restore HP based on Dory's max HP and will also steadily regenerate energy.
So she's a support character.
Between the genie and the character touches enemies, it will deal bouts of electro damage to them at set intervals. Only one genie can exist at one time. An astute merchant like Dory spots business opportunities everywhere she looks. She must always be ready to provide customers with the perfect solution at a moment's notice. After unlocking the talent, an eye for gold, when a character connected to the genie triggers an electrocharged superconduct, overloaded, quicken, aggravate, hyper bloom, or an electro swirl or crystallized reaction,
dude,
the cooldown
yeah, support more for
is decreased. This effect can only be triggered once within a set period of time. Any merchant worth their Mora must have keen foresight, and Dory figures out just what her customers need before they realize themselves. That's why
it's just like a lot to take in with her a little bit. You know what I mean?
Petite peddler waiting for them, just where the going starts to get tough.
I just kind of feel like she's kind of just like all over the place.
Troubleshooter shots to deal electro damage to enemies, with the after-sales service rounds following up after the initial delivery. When her energy is full, Dory summons forth the genie within the lamp to provide support to her teammates. The genie can connect to a nearby character, causing them to regenerate energy and restore HP. By moving the character's position, the connection to the genie can be adjusted, dealing electro damage to enemies while offering customers a little extra bang for their buck.
Go right and go. Kick that booty.
I've traveled all over the world.
I just feel overwhelmed with her a bit. With Dory. I don't know why.
I'm not interested in her paying me back, but I do admire her bold and daring mercantile methods. Doing business is just like adventuring and inventing. You must go big or go home. You mustn't be skittish and easily deterred. So for my purposes, Dory is a superb partner, and I am only too delighted to place the most ingenious of my personal inventions into her capable hands. An old astrologist friend of mine always harps on about the consequences of handing off these kinds of items, but nothing has come of it yet, so we'll continue business.
Well, eventually we'll meet Dory. Eventually we will. I don't know. I just feel, and this is my opinion, I just feel that she's just not like very useful at all. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why. That's just the sense that I'm getting from it, is that she's just not very useful.
Many
Sino.
in Sumeru make it their life's goal to be a scholar, some for the pursuit of truth and knowledge, but there are also those who have other intentions. After all, if you find a niche research topic and manage to secure academia funding, you're set for life. But if this sounds too good to be true, that's because it usually is. The academia is a millennia-old institution, and those working to ensure its continued longevity have zero tolerance for those trying to exploit it.
Who's our next target?
He looks so good.
The favor of the gods enables Sino to manipulate the electro element,
Like a
and
little
to summon
scary.
a divine spirit to aid him in the cause of delivering justice.
I mean, I'd be a little terrified, not gonna lie.
The General Mahamatra gained his formidable reputation not through empty posturing, but
Oh,
by
you're
tracking
cute.
down wayward scholars and bringing them to justice. And because of his tracking prowess, these trips often end up more bountiful than expected. Sino gains increased rewards when dispatched on a 20-hour expedition within Sumeru.
Okay. Gotcha.
Sino's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes with his polearm, dealing physical damage.
Polearm user. Another one. I like the
Using his
polearm
charge
users for
attack,
some reason. I
Sino
just really like
consumes
them.
a certain amount of stamina to lunge forward, dealing physical damage to enemies along the way. Cast Sino's elemental skill to perform a high-speed dash, dealing electro damage to enemies in his path.
Through me,
Ooh.
justice is served.
Sino's elemental burst summons a divine spirit to possess him. He morphs into the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer, causing damage dealt by his normal, charged, and plunging attacks to be converted to electro damage that cannot be overridden.
Whoa! Calm down,
In
Sino!
this state, Sino's elemental mastery and resistance to interruption are increased, and he gains immunity to damage dealt by electro-charged reactions. The Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state ends after a set duration, or when Sino leaves the field. When
Holy
Sino is in the
moly!
Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, his elemental skill changes, instead unleashing a Mortuary Rite, which deals thunderous AoE electro damage and extends the duration
Wow.
of Pact-Sworn Path Clearer.
Sino, dude!
Once the
All
General
right.
Mahamatra has you in his sights, the best option is to admit your guilt.
No, the best
Otherwise, you
option
will
is to
find
run
yourself
away
the
as fast as you
target of his
can.
Relentless pursuit. After unlocking the talent Featherfall Judgment, when Sino is in the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, he will intermittently enter the Endseer state. If he casts his elemental skill while in this state, he will activate the Judication effect, increasing the damage of this elemental skill and firing off 3 Duststalker bolts that deal electro damage.
Dude, he has so much going on. Sino is a
After unlocking the
beast.
talent Authority over the 9 Bows, damage dealt by Sino's normal attack and Duststalker bolts while in the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state is increased based on Sino's elemental mastery.
Okay.
Break
Wow.
the Academia Code at your peril, for as are Sino's jokes, so too is his judgment, no laughing matter. Sino starts battle by casting his elemental skill, dealing electro damage to enemies and building up elemental energy. When his energy is full,
And then he just comes in and
unleashes his elemental
kicks
burst
booty.
to enter the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, then deals electro
Main
damage
DPS.
to enemies with normal attacks, and his special elemental skill, Mortuary Rite.
Bro! Stop it right now.
By strategically using Mortuary Rite, he not only extends the Pact-Sworn Path Clearer state, but also triggers the Judication effect to fire off Duststalker bolts and deliver final judgment upon the guilty.
Dude, he's intense.
In my travels across Tevat, I've heard people say that curiosity was mankind's original sin. Perhaps everyone
He is
has the
really
impulse to
intense.
explore the deep secrets of the world, but only scholars can truly fulfill such ambitions. Sino can relate to some degree. Placing the mysteries of the universe before scholars with a burning desire for knowledge would be like placing a dragon-themed deck from Genius Invocation TCG.
I'm excited to meet him.
Both.
I'm excited to meet him.
Perhaps the academia established the Matra not principally to punish wayward scholars, but rather to protect them. Because the gravest crimes committed in the name of wisdom may be beyond the Matra's ability to punish.
Dude, Sino, you're intense, man. I want Sino. I want Sino. That's a lot of stuff he's got going on. Dude, man. Whoa, that was awesome. That was awesome.
In the eyes of many adventurers, merchants, and even mercenaries, Aru Village is the only safe haven in an otherwise treacherous desert. Though far from prosperous, it provides ample food and water to all who come here in need, as well as a bed for the night. On one condition, do not disturb the peace.
Okay. She looks gorgeous.
As the sworn
with the
protector of
two-colored
Aru
eyes,
Village,
the blue and the gold.
Candace is
Oh,
highly
dude.
adept with her shield and spear. With the aid of her hydrovision, she can fend off
She's
the strongest
beautiful.
of storms and the fiercest of foes.
Another polearm user.
Life is harsh in the hot and arid desert. Strength and endurance are the key to survival for those who dwell here. When Candace is in the party, the active character benefits from reduced stamina consumption from climbing.
Okay.
Candace's normal attack can combo up to 4 strikes with her polearm, dealing physical damage.
All right,
Using
what
her
else you got?
charged attack, Candace consumes a certain amount of stamina to
Let's
lunge
kinda like,
forward, dealing physical
Jin
damage
Yun.
to enemies along the way.
Are Yun Jin? Jin Yun? Yun Jin?
Tap Candace's elemental skill to perform a swift shield strike, dealing hydro damage to enemies in front. Hold her elemental skill, and she raises the shield to block attacks from nearby enemies. The shield
Ooh.
absorbs damage based on her max HP and offers extra protection against hydro damage. The shield can remain until Candace finishes casting her elemental skill.
All right. But I'm gonna assume the longer you hold it, the longer the cooldown.
Candace will finish charging her attack. Then
would
when the
assume.
skill is released,
Just assuming.
its duration expires or the shield is broken, she performs a forward leaping strike that deals hydro damage. After
All right.
unlocking the talent Aegis of Crossed Arrows, if Candace is hit while holding her elemental skill, she instantly finishes charging.
We shall prevail!
When Candace
Yo.
unleashes her elemental burst, she holds her weapon high to summon divine assistance, which deals AoE hydro damage based on her max HP, and continuously grants the Prayer of the Crimson Crown state to the active character. In this state, when a character's normal attack deals elemental damage to an enemy, the damage dealt is increased. Switching characters unleashes a rippling wave attack, dealing hydro damage to nearby enemies. This can only be triggered a limited number of times during Prayer of the Crimson Crown's duration.
So
Additionally,
she.
characters wielding a sword, claymore, or polearm gain a hydro infusion while Prayer of the Crimson Crown is in effect.
So like an attack buff character.
After unlocking the talent Celestial Dome of Sand, when a character under the effect of Prayer of the Crimson Crown deals elemental damage with a normal attack, damage dealt is increased based on Candace's max HP.
So HP is super important for her.
Candace is a kind soul who is only too happy
Okay.
to stow her weapon when not needed. But anyone who
Oh, look at
mistakes
little
her
kitty
good
cat.
nature for weakness
She's
and fails
beautiful,
to respect
man.
the customs of Aru Village should prepare
She is
to face the
absolutely beautiful.
consequences. When battle commences, Candace comes to the defense of the party, using her elemental skill to block the enemy's attack and perform a counterattack. When energy is full, she casts her elemental burst to deal AoE hydro damage and boost her teammates' normal attacks with the Prayer of the Crimson Crown status, then joins
Okay.
them in removing the unruly visitors from Aru
Sino's
Village
back.
for good.
So more like an attack buff character.
There are many
All right,
rumors
support
about
character.
the village guardian with the one golden eye. They
Wow,
say that
I'm
the
excited
sands are
to
her spies.
meet her.
The storm winds are her servants. The blood of King Deshret flows
Jeez.
in her veins.
Yo,
And that
look at all
even
the
strongest
more.
of
Paimon's
foes
gonna have
must
fun.
yield at her command.
Paimon's gonna see all that gold. She'll never want to leave.
People who have lost their guardian deity often display the greatest interest in the gods. But having never seen a god with their own eyes, the far-fetched products of their naive imaginations are poor substitutes for reality. Yet despite being the subject of these fanciful rumors, Candace herself takes a much more sober view of things. A shield is but a tool, a polearm but a weapon, and what matters most is not the
These are
divine
so
power
good.
a weapon contains, but the determination.
They do such a
of the
good job
one
on
who
these.
wields it.
Candace. Okay. I feel like I wouldn't mind having her as a character, but I'm not gonna be actively going for her. You know what I mean? Yeah, I just feel like I mean, if I had her, I probably wouldn't use her that much.
To the people of Sumeru, who are accustomed to receiving concrete information from the Akasha, the arts are an abstract and intangible concept. What constitutes good art? Is there a way to quantify its value? These questions leave even the academia's most esteemed scholars at a loss. But to Nilou, art is the simplest and purest thing in the world. There is no barrier to entry,
Nilou!
and everyone can appreciate
I said that she reminds me of Ariel from Little Mermaid.
Where are we dancing?
Nilou, hi! How are
Though
you?
Nilou's dancing may appear delicate, there is measured strength behind every step. Nilou integrates swordplay with agile footwork as she waltzes with the water to the aid of her allies.
Like smooth,
Dancing
silky,
requires not only grace,
smooth.
but physical endurance as well. That is why Nilou pays particular attention to her dietary intake. When Nilou achieves perfect cooking on dishes with adventure-related effects, she has a certain chance to double the product. Nilou's normal attack can combo up to 3 strikes, dealing physical damage to enemies. When using her charged attack, Nilou consumes a certain amount of stamina to unleash a twirling strike, dealing physical damage.
All right.
When she uses her elemental skill, Nilou enters the pirouette state, dealing hydro damage to nearby enemies based on her max HP. While in the pirouette state, using Nilou's normal attack or elemental skill triggers her sword dance stance, or whirling step stance, respectively.
What?
While damage she deals is converted to hydro damage that cannot be overridden and is treated as elemental skill damage.
Ooh, okay.
While the pirouette state is active, Nilou's third stance will end this state and trigger a different effect depending on the stance.
God, she's got a lot going on.
Nilou's final stance is sword dance. She unleashes a luminous illusion that inflicts hydro damage to enemies it hits, while
Dude, that's
also
sick.
gaining the lunar prayer effect. While lunar prayer is active, Nilou's normal attack is converted to a sword dance, and her final hit will unleash a luminous illusion. If Nilou's final stance
I just
is
love the way,
whirling
like, her
steps,
movements.
she unleashes a whirling
It's just so
water
good.
wheel that deals AoE hydro damage. Also, a tranquility aura is created that follows your active character and applies the wet status to enemies in range. Nilou cannot perform charged attacks while the pirouette or lunar prayer status is active. Leaving the battlefield will remove the status.
Okay.
After unlocking the talent court of Dancing Petals, if the party consists exclusively of Dendro and Hydro characters, including at least one of each, the third stance of Nilou's elemental skill, when executed, will confer the Golden Chalice's bounty effect on all nearby characters for a limited time.
You said Hydro and what was the other one?
When a character
Dendro?
under the effects
Hydro
of
and
Golden
Dendro.
Chalice's bounty is hit by a Dendro attack, the elemental mastery of all nearby characters is increased for a certain time.
So if you're gonna play with her, you need
triggering
Dendro
a bloom
characters.
reaction will produce a bountiful
Really?
core instead of a Dendro core. The bountiful core's attack is treated as a post-bloom Dendro core attack, but it bursts more quickly and has a larger AoE than the Dendro core. Bountiful cores cannot trigger Hyperbloom or Burgeon reactions, and they share the same field limit as Dendro cores.
She's got a lot going on. She has a lot going on. Like, wow.
Nilou's dancing style is the stuff of dreams, captivating her audience's hearts and bolstering their spirits. After unlocking the talent Dreamy Dance of Eons, bountiful cores triggered due to Golden Chalice's bounty deal increased damage based on how much of Nilou's max HP exceeds a given value. Bountiful core damage can only be increased in this manner by up to a certain amount.
It's a lot. It's a lot
This
with
dance
her.
is for you.
Nilou's elemental burst begins a dance of faraway dreams and melodic springs that causes a lotus of distant waters to bloom, dealing AoE hydro damage
that's so
based
cool.
on Nilou's max HP.
So HP
Enemies hit
is
by the
her most
elemental
important
burst
stat.
will sustain the lingering Eon effect, which deals hydro damage after a short delay. To Nilou, there is little difference between battle and dance, since both can be used to resolve one's troubles.
She's really pretty.
Most of Nilou's combat is centered around
And I
her
love the way she
elemental
moves.
skills.
It's like,
She
I
freely
feel like
dances
Heizou characters
between her two
move
stances,
more
with sword dance,
fluidly.
allowing her to continuously inflict
You know what I mean?
hydro damage
No pun
via
intended.
lunar prayer, and whirling steps, setting the stage for follow-up elemental reactions through the persistent tranquility aura effect. With the right party composition, Nilou's third stance during the performance of her elemental skill grants the Golden Chalice's bounty effect to her teammates. Triggering the bloom reaction while this effect is active spawns special bountiful cores that deal greater damage to enemies.
okay.
When her elemental energy is full, Nilou can
It's
use her
Kokomi.
elemental burst to begin a dance of faraway dreams, dealing AoE hydro damage and applying the lingering Eon effect to any enemies hit. The lingering Eon follows up with a further attack after a short delay, ushering in the curtain call of Nilou's spectacular performance. I must stress that I am a warrior
That's super
and
interesting.
in no way versed in the disciplines of song.
She
and
has
dance.
a, man, there's
If
a lot
anyone
with
was
her.
expecting to
Yeah,
hear my
man.
philosophical musings
Like
on these
stances
topics,
and-
I'm sorry to disappoint.
Certain characters, certain elemental characters
While
being
I
in your
am no
party, create certain
connoisseur,
things and
even I
stuff.
find myself moved
There's a
once
lot
in
with
while
her.
by the sight of an extraordinary performance.
I feel like if I ever tried to use her as a
Even
character,
for
I'd
the
have to go
nature
back and
of
look at her
wisdom,
stuff.
citing the pursuit of rationality
Just so
as a
I can
justification
remember
for
what to do.
refusing to acknowledge the comfort that an audience can find in the arts is sheer arrogance. When groups clash, or human ideals conflict with the rules of the world around them, disputes of this nature most often arise from the inability to tolerate the existence of that which is different from oneself.
We have a long way to go before we even get to Sumeru. Long way to go. Nilou! Nice to meet you. Yeah, I would have to probably go back and watch this one again if I ever had her as a character, if I wanted to use her, because honestly, that's a lot to take in all at once, to be honest. So I love that one though. That was really, really, really pretty. There's 15 more left to go. We'll watch those next Saturday.